James Harris Jackson traveled to New York City with the motive to kill black people. And after he stabbed and killed a man in Times Square, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio had his own idea of the suspect's motive: an atmosphere of hate created by President Trump.
The challenge here is that a dynamic of hatred has been growing in this country over the last year or more. It's particularly come out in the open after the election. It's clearly related to the rhetoric of Donald Trump and even other candidates during the presidential election that have unleashed forces of hate all over the country.
Does Mayor de Blasio actually believe this, or is he simply being politically expedient? Here to discuss is conservative radio talk show host Lawrence Jones. So, Lawrence, obviously a tragic story, pure and outright racism, yet Mayor de Blasio says it's Donald Trump's fault. What do you say to that?
Well, this is the Democrats not learning from their mistake in the past election. Anytime we have a failed policy from the Democratic Party, didn't they start to spread this whole racism thing or gender politics, this identity politics? And I think they should learn from their lesson in the past election where that didn't work.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, but of course, politically, it doesn't work. But just the blatant hypocrisy of it. I mean, we've seen racist actions over the course of our entire country. Just last year, or, in recent memory, the killing at the black church in Charleston, a horrifically racist incident that happened while Barack Obama was president. No one tied it to him. Now they're trying to tie it to President Trump.
Well, I think it's important to also note that hate has no political party. There are hateful people in both political parties, or they say they're a part of the parties. And I think there's also another distinction. There's a difference from a report and an investigation. We saw at the AME church in Mississippi where somebody wrote with spray paint and set it on fire saying, vote for Trump. Well, that was later found out to be one of the black church members. We saw at the University of Miami where a pro-KKK rhetoric was written on the building. That was later on to found out that was two black students. We saw a girl at the University of Michigan that suggested that someone said that they were going to set her headscarf on fire. That was later found out to be false. So I think it's important for the media in many of these cases to wait for the facts to come out before they start to put this on Donald Trump.
Wow, fantastic historical perspective. And you're basically saying there's a motive ascribed to these comments. Bill de Blasio, maybe he believes it, but maybe he also wants to just make sure the narrative is in one direction.
Well, I think, Pete, it's important to note that in many cases, they win when they do this until the past election. When you start getting people focused about race, and the worst thing you can call somebody in today's time is racist.
Sure.
And it becomes a distraction. What happened in this past election is that people were broke. The health care was failing, and none of that really mattered. They didn't care what you thought about them. They cared about their pocketbooks. And so I would encourage the mayor and Democrats to learn from their mistake. I actually like competition. I want to have a debate with the Democrats. Sure. But if they continue to play this race game, they're going to lose every election to come.
Well, and it's happened from day one of the Trump presidency as well. Oh, look, he's getting rid of the Martin Luther King bust. Oh, wait, he didn't. He's not racist. So it's amazing how they play that game time and time again.
Pete, the media is to blame for this because sometimes they carry the water of the liberals without doing their due diligence.
That's when you don't follow up on the facts, well, then an impression can be created. Lawrence Jones, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
You got it.